There comes a moment in your life when you realize that the way you think is the way your life becomes. Not because thoughts are magic, but because your beliefs shape your behavior, and your behavior shapes everything else. 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Brianna Wiest is a guide for the moments when you feel stuck, lost, overwhelmed, or unsure who you're becoming. It's not a traditional book. It's a mirror. And each essay is a reminder that your inner world creates your outer world, whether you're aware of it or not. One of the core messages in the book is this: your life gets better when you get better at feeling. Most people try to think their way out of emotional pain. They rationalize, analyze, overthink, or numb themselves. But emotions don't disappear because you ignore them. They settle inside of you, quietly shaping your choices. Brianna Wiest argues that emotional intelligence isn't optional. It's the foundation for a meaningful life. You can only transform what you're willing to feel. The things you avoid, the sadness, the confusion, the fear, aren't obstacles. They're invitations, signals that something inside you needs your attention, not your avoidance. Another powerful idea is the concept of self-abandonment. You abandon yourself every time you silence your intuition to please others, every time you choose peace for someone else while creating chaos inside yourself, every time you shrink your dreams because someone else is uncomfortable with your ambition. Self-abandonment feels responsible in the moment, but it causes long-term resentment, confusion, and disconnection. The book teaches you to return to yourself, your needs, your boundaries, your voice, because the relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for all the relationships in your life. The book also dives deep into the idea of subconscious beliefs and how they quietly run your life. Many people live out patterns they don't understand, choosing the same kind of partner, falling into the same conflicts, starting over again and again, never feeling satisfied even when life looks good on paper. Wiest explains that your subconscious mind is operating from memories, wounds, and rules you adopted as a child. Maybe you learned that love must be earned. Maybe you learned that you should stay small to stay safe. Maybe you learned that being yourself is risky. Transformation begins when you expose these beliefs to the light and replace them with ones that support who you want to become. Another theme that runs through the book is the importance of identity. You don't change your life by forcing new habits. You change your life by becoming someone who sees yourself differently. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to be confident," you become someone who believes, "I deserve to take up space." Instead of saying, "I should eat healthier," you become someone who believes, "I take care of my body." Identity creates behavior, not the other way around. Your habits stick when they are connected to who you believe you are. The book also highlights the idea that your reality is shaped not by what happens to you, but by the meaning you assign to what happens. Two people can experience the exact same event, a breakup, a job loss, a setback, and walk away with completely different stories. One might say, "I wasn't good enough." Another might say, "Something better is meant for me." Your interpretation determines your emotional state, and your emotional state determines your decisions. When you choose meanings that empower you instead of diminish you, your entire life begins to move in a new direction. One of the most memorable insights in the book is about resistance, the discomfort you feel right before you make progress. Resistance shows up as procrastination, overthinking, distraction, or self-doubt. Most people interpret resistance as a sign they should stop. But Wiest argues the opposite. Resistance means you're exactly where you're supposed to be. It's your old identity trying to survive. It's your comfort zone panicking because you're outgrowing it. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And if your growth doesn't feel uncomfortable, it's not real growth. Another essay talks about emotional responsibility, the idea that you are responsible for your healing, even if you're not responsible for what hurt you. This isn't about blame. It's about power. When you wait for someone else to fix the wounds inside you, you give them control over your life. But when you take responsibility for your emotional world, you reclaim your freedom. You stop repeating patterns. You stop seeking validation. You stop looking for someone to rescue you. You become the person who rescues you. One of the most practical ideas in the book is that your future is shaped by micro-decisions, not dramatic changes. It's the way you react when you're stressed. It's the boundaries you set when you're tired. It's the habits you fall back on when nobody is watching. Your life is not one big choice, it's thousands of tiny ones. Small choices create momentum, momentum creates identity, identity creates destiny. The book also challenges the idea that happiness comes from achieving goals. Wiest argues that happiness comes from alignment, not achievement. You can reach milestones, hit targets, and check boxes, and still feel empty. Because happiness isn't the result of success, it's the foundation of it. You build happiness by living in a way that matches your values, honoring your needs, and building a life that feels like your own. Another powerful concept is the idea of inner peace as strength. Some people think peace means passivity or that calm people are weak. But Wiest explains that peace is actually the highest form of power. When you're no longer controlled by your triggers, your impulses, or other people's actions, you become unstoppable. Peace gives you clarity. Peace gives you emotional control. Peace gives you the ability to make decisions that serve your future, not your fears. One of the final insights in the book is about self-reinvention. You are allowed to outgrow people, places, habits, dreams, versions of yourself, and even entire chapters of your life. Growth requires shedding. Becoming your future self means releasing your past self. And the person you're becoming deserves the space your old identity has been occupying. In the end, 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think is really about one message. You are more powerful than the stories you tell yourself. Your thoughts aren't facts. Your beliefs aren't destiny. Your patterns aren't permanent. Every day is a chance to choose differently, think differently, live differently. The life you want doesn't appear when things around you change. It appears when you change. And the greatest transformation starts with one question: what if I stopped limiting myself? What if I believed something better was possible for me? What if I treated myself like someone worth taking care of? Because the moment you shift your thinking, you shift your entire life. If this helped you, hit that like button, subscribe for more sharp summaries, and drop a comment with the next book you want to see. Let's grow smarter, together.